Hi, I'm Bobby Fiorentino, sports journalist, and you're here on my interview show. Today I'm here with a very special team, and I'd like to welcome my two guests, James. Hi, James.
Thanks
James
for having me.
Paul.
Thank you.
And Majid. Good to see you back in the league.
Hey.
Well, guys, I just want to say it is a big surprise to see you two back together. I know the turmoil with James, which we'll talk about in a second, but how did you guys get back together? Get together in the first place, I should say.
Well, I've been looking to get back into the league ever since me and James's first fallout. But, I showed James that I was ready to be back, and I've been doing some studying and changed my work ethic completely.
I actually saw your contract. I broke that in an earlier story that you could see on www.bobbysportsjournalist.blogspot.com. But go ahead.
And you're right. We did have a contract that James had written out because he's been screwed over a few times, even by me, and I'm willing to put the time in, the 3 years that is in the contract, to be with James for those 3 years, to start a new family and a new friendship.
Mm-hmm. Now, James, as Majid alluded to, you have been screwed over a time or two in your day, and I just really want to know how you feel about that. I want you to talk about the people in your past and just let it all out.
Well, I don't like to talk about that too much, but I'll give you the honor, that's for sure. Matt Ward was the first one that really shafted me. I actually found out on your sports blog that he teamed up with Anthony.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even have a season together. He just flat out left me. Then Michael last year, we had a terrible record, as you all know. And he also didn't tell me that he was leaving me. Found out, I think, over a barbecue. And I'm just sick of it.
Wow.
It's very upsetting. Yeah.
That's a shame.
It's upsetting. He was
Disgusting.
family. You know what I'm saying? And it hurt. It really hurt. So I know Majid was really interested in joining the league again, and I had no problem taking him in. I was like a brother because I love him. But Mike really screwed me. He's my cousin, so I had to devise this contract so it protects me.
Now, you got to admit that all these off-season changes, all this getting screwed over, probably really didn't help out your record or anything last year. And I do have to point out, and I know you don't like to hear it, you did have a league worst 2-11 record.
Thank you.
It's despicable.
Mm-hmm.
What are you two going to do this year to turn that around?
Well, for me, before the season started and before I teamed up with Majid here, I made a promise that I was going to focus more on the mid-round picks. The first 2 rounds you're going to get good players, but I've come to believe that it's those guys that are drafted in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds that really are crucial to your success. So.
What about you, Majid?
I'm taking this more as a learning period year for me. I'm going to be tagging along with James, learning the ropes a little bit more, but I'll be honest, I'm doing a lot of studying, doing a lot of back research, on players, picks, top guys out there. And, with putting our 2 minds together, we're hoping to go big.
Turn things around.
Turn things around, have a good year, good season.
Mm-hmm. That's solid gold right there. But let me tell you one thing. Besides not winning games, you got to admit you didn't win in the trade wars. Going over some of your trades, during the draft last year, you traded Indianapolis defense for the Ravens defense. Indianapolis ended up being the best. The Ravens ended up being one of the worst from a fantasy perspective. You also traded Brett Favre, who was on fire the first half of the year. And later on, you traded away Tiki Barber and got Donovan McNabb, who ended up out for the season. You got to look at this record and see you don't have a lot of luck with trades. Are you going to trade at all this year, or are you too afraid of your past history?
Are you really trying to break me down here, huh? What am I, A-Rod?
Hey,
What am I, Alex Rodriguez?
I just asked the questions.
Alright, we all know what happened last year. It's no secret. Alright? There isn't a person alive who thought the Colts defense was going to be good last year. Was it a bad trade? Yeah. It was terrible. It was horrible. But in hindsight's 20/20. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever would have projected the Ravens to be as bad as they were, and nobody definitely would have ever projected the Colts to be as good as they were. So, although the trades were bad at the time, they seem fitting. They seem to fit.
Are you going to trade this year at all, during the draft or otherwise?
I don't know, because I don't know who's drafting ahead. I don't know who's going to be drafted ahead of me. I don't know who's going to be drafted behind me. You know, there might be a trade that makes sense. Where Imagine and I have to, you know, put our minds together and say, you know, this might benefit our team. You know, so am I going to rule out trades? No, absolutely not. But, you know, it's definitely got to be something that is going to benefit us.
So now's your time to shine, your open forum. What do you want to say, and who do you want to say it to?
I think I'm going to let my partner Magic take this one. It's a little pumped up.
Team Inconsiderate Mikes only got one thing to say. Football's going down. Fuck you, Mike!
Well, all right, guys, that was a really great interview. But really, what do you think of Mike Fiorentino exactly?
Well,
I think he's a piece of...